You know what every new manager gets wrong? Thinking effort comes from pep talks instead of expectations. That's how you end up exhausted and ignored. There's this moment every new manager eventually hits. You're standing in front of your team or you're sitting on Zoom doing that awkward, half smile thing, and you launch into what you hope is your inspiring rally the troops moment. You give them the why, you give them the goal, you give them the whole, we're better than this angle. And they nod. They look attentive. Some some even look moved, maybe. And then nothing. Nothing changes. And the worst part is that you walk away thinking that you missed something. Like maybe you weren't motivational enough. Didn't have enough Tony Robbins in you. Maybe you weren't passionate enough or articulate enough. So you try again, different tone, different angle, more energy, more vulnerability, less vulnerability. You start shape shifting your communication like you're trying on personalities in a dressing room. Because that's what new managers do when they think effort comes from inspiration. And here's the real twist: your team isn't confused about your passion, they're confused about your expectations. They hear the energy, they don't hear the standard. Pep talks feel good in the moment, but they don't tell anyone what they're supposed to do next. They don't define success, they don't outline boundaries, they don't eliminate ambiguity. And ambiguity is where effort goes to die. The more you try to motivate without clarifying, the more disconnected things feel. The bigger the speeches get, the smaller the results get. And suddenly, you're doing more emotional labor than actual leadership. So here's the part that nobody says out loud because it kind of stings, kind of sucks. Every time you rely on motivation instead of expectations, you shrink your authority just a little. Not in a dramatic, my team walks all over me kind of way. Just more like a slow drip, a quiet erosion. Because when your team hears you asking for effort instead of setting the standard, they start reading your tone, not your words. And your tone says, I hope you'll try harder. I need you to care more. I can't make you do it, so I'm trying to convince you. Hope is not a leadership strategy. And the team isn't ignoring you out of disrespect. They're ignoring you because they don't know where to aim. Unclear expectations create a mental loophole. I thought this was good enough. I didn't realize that part mattered. Oh, I didn't know that we needed this like that. And then you're stuck repeating yourself, chasing deadlines, chasing quality, chasing engagement, while your team is quietly thinking, why does it feel like guessing? When your requests aren't anchored to standards, they feel optional. And when things feel optional, you get optional effort. That's the moment that managers start slipping into the nice boss who gets ignored. Super supportive, super positive, super invisible. You're trying to lead from inspiration, but what your team needs is direction. And direction, not a pep talk, is what builds trust, builds authority, builds respect. Now, before we get into how to fix this, if you want help actually using this stuff, like real conversations, real setting expectations, using templates, and support from real leaders who are also figuring this out right beside you, that's exactly what we work on in the Better Boss Club. No theory, no fluff, just clear frameworks that you can put into practice the same day. The doors aren't open just yet, but make sure you click the link in the description to make sure that you have the opportunity to be a founding member, which means you get new resources as they drop. If you're tired of guessing and you want to lead with confidence, join the waitlist. Okay, let's get to the fix. So here's the actual shift. Stop trying to motivate effort. Start defining effort. Effort isn't try harder. Effort isn't care more. Effort isn't be proactive. Those are like vibes. Leadership isn't about vibes. Effort is visible. Effort is specific. Effort is behavior. And behaviors can be described. Instead of saying, I need you all more engaged, you can say, when we meet, come with your notes, your numbers, and your recommendation. That's the baseline. Instead of saying, let's really push to get this done, you can say, I need the draft complete, reviewed, and ready for my eyes by Friday at noon. Instead of saying, can you put more effort into this? You can say, when you hand this off, it needs to be clean, accurate, and ready for that client. That's the expectation. You're not being harsh, you're being clear. Clarity is how you stop begging and how you start leading. When you define what good looks like, people don't have to guess. And when they don't have to guess, then they can stop holding back because now the target is obvious. And here's where the magic happens. Once you set expectations clearly, you can coach clearly. You don't have to critique the person. You don't have to critique the personality. You critique the gap between the work and the standard. That's how leadership becomes calm and consistent, not emotional and exhausting. Let's add just a touch of depth in this because clarity alone doesn't get the job done. The delivery matters. You can't set expectations with soft, apologetic language. You can be kind and you can still be firm, but you can't be vague and expect precision. Phrases to drop immediately whenever you get a chance, if it's not too much trouble. It'd be great if you could. I'm hoping we can. Every one of those puts you in a beg mode. And the reality is, when you sound unsure, people get unsure. Uncertainty, it trickles down faster than confidence. Swap those for clean, adult to adult language. I need by tomorrow. Let's agree on. Here's the standard. None of these are aggressive. None of these are demanding. They're just clear. They're direct. And once you set those expectations, you can't ghost from them. You have to follow up. Follow up is not micromanaging. Follow up is leadership. It tells your team, this matters. I'm steady. I'm paying attention. And people, believe it or not, people respect leaders who follow through, not leaders who deliver a great speech and then just kind of disappear. Another nuance, you can't set expectations only when things go wrong. If you do, your team associates expectations with mistakes. Set expectations before you need them. That's how you lead proactively instead of constantly playing cleanup. The last layer here, normalize revisiting the standard. Not like a broken record, not like a school teacher, just a calm reminder anchored to reality. Okay, this piece hit the standard. This part needs tightening. Let's make that adjustment. When expectations are clear, conversations get so much easier. When conversations get easier, effort increases naturally. Not because you motivated them, because you removed the ambiguity that was dragging you down. Let me run through a situation you've lived through at least once. You've got someone on your team, solid person, good attitude, but their work is consistently, call it light. Like you can tell that they did it quickly. You can tell that they didn't think it through. You can tell they technically completed the task, but they didn't actually solve the problem. Old you is going to say something like, hey, this is good. I just need you to push a little harder next time. Or, hey, let's really try to take this up a level. And they nod, they smile, they agree. And the next week, here they come with that same level of effort. Because what does push harder? Like, what does that mean? Push where? Push how? Push why? The new you, the version of you that leads with expectations, you're going to say something totally different. All right, going forward, when you bring me this report, it needs to be accurate, formatted cleanly, and include a 1-paragraph summary of what the client actually needs to decide. That's our standard. If you need help putting it together, I'm here. But this is where we're shooting from now on. Boom. Clean, simple, visible. So the next time they hand it to you, you can say, this section nailed it. This part still needs work. Let's tighten this section to bring it up. That's it. It's no hype, no frustration, no pep talks. Just a clear, targeted, and steady leader. Effort follows clarity every time. And now, if you want the simplest, the most practical way to setting expectations, coaching performance, and having these conversations without the stress, I suggest you get on the waitlist to join the Better Boss Club. It's not open yet, but it is coming soon. So make sure you grab the link, You join the wait list because I'll be in there, McAfee will be in there, and I hope you're in there. See you soon. Ciao.